Ladies and gentlemen, Tactical Advance here, and welcome to a ship review. Now today we are taking a look at the Sabre Raven. Now so far, out of pretty much all the ships we've seen from Star Citizen, this is definitely out there from a design point of view. It does differ from the other ships quite a lot, and it has some interesting mechanics as well, but we'll take a look at that in a second. First of all, let's take a look around. Now it has a very, very small weapon loadout, with all fairness. Nothing too chunky, as you can see here. These look pretty nicely designed, I suppose. I've got some partial complaints about that, but we'll come back to that in a minute. So starting from the front, we've got the cockpit. It's quite a low sitting ship. It's quite small as well. The idea of this ship, it does have EMP. The main sort of concept of this ship is being a very, very light fighter with EMP, with a low IR output. Now I understand there's a lot of people out there comparing this to some of the Aegis ships and maybe some of the other manufacturers, and clearly, firepower for firepower, it doesn't compare clearly. But IR is going to be really significant inside of Star Citizen, in the same way that the Freelancer has a very, very low IR output. So you might compare physical cargo, but you definitely need to take into consideration IR. If that reduces or increases the chance of you delivering your cargo because you don't get detected, then there's another way to look at it. You might be able to carry more cargo with the other one, but with a lower IR output, you might be able to make more money because you might not be able to get detected. This one's slightly different though. With this one, I see it more on a sort of a disruptor, maybe for sort of disrupting bigger ships, and I'll explain sort of how that sort of works. Basically, if you fly towards, let's just say, a bigger ship, the EMP blast has a radius. Imagine like a radius around the ship. You might have seen some videos. The radius might be, I don't know, 8-9 meters up, 8-9 meters forward. That blast radius will take out that section of the ship. It's specific, Star Citizen have said, so you're not going to just fly up towards a big ship and just EMP it and take out the whole ship. Purely on the basis of the EMP blast of this ship, they're all going to be sized. So what can you actually do with this ship? Obviously you can EMP a small ship, undoubtedly, because your EMP blast, as long as they're within that blast radius, yeah, you will take out the whole ship. With a bigger ship, you could focus on components. If you want to do door entry, you could fly near the door, do an EMP blast and disable that part of the ship and then breach. You could do it on an engine. You could do it if you knew where the reactor core or the power plant was, you could target that as well. Going to have to know your ships for this one. Definitely, you're really going to have to know what you're doing. We'll carry on, take a look anyway. We'll come back to the cockpit in a second. I must admit, I do like the design of this. The only thing I didn't like, I said this sort of at the start, don't like these cutouts. Why do they do that? Why didn't they just build like this gun into the wing and just have the gun coming out? Do they really need to do this? It just looks a bit, I don't know. When we get in the cockpit and we look down, you see what I mean? I should imagine they've done it because they want to have it so you can swap out the weapons and it doesn't affect it from a aesthetics view, yeah? Because all the guns are actually, got detail like this, right? So if you swap the gun out, obviously putting it inside the wing gets a little bit more complicated. I'm sure they could have done something. I just think that this is definitely the cheaper option, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, this is the easy option. I think I would have preferred to have the continuous wing and maybe have the tip sticking out at the edge of the wing. It would look a lot nicer. I mean, they've spent so much time creating a really nice design ship. You would have thought they could have just gone that little bit further, but I understand the technical implementations on that. And yeah, okay, it's not the end of the world from a design point of view, this is blatantly based on a design, undoubtedly. It's a shame about that one. This does look really nice anyway. Looking forward to do a bit of a flight test on this as well. Now it has got bomb bay doors, which is the EMP, which you can see. If you just see this little slot here, this is the doors here, this section. That opens up and then EMP blast. Takes a while to charge as well, so it's not like you're just going to be firing loads of EMPs out by any means. Really like what they've done with the lighting on this. It does look really cool, doesn't it? I must admit. One of the prettier looking ships, but I've no doubt people in the comments might disagree with me to some extent. Minus the odd little thing like the guns. It does look like a bit of a keyring chain. I'll show it to me when I get to the cockpit. The profile is really low. I suppose that... I know that's II is more energy output. Just deflecting that detectability, isn't it? In the same way that a stealth would. You can see that these sort of... These shields at the back here, see these shields here? And the shields at the bottom there to mask the jet, if you want to call it that. Hiding the IR. People probably all eat their words when they realise how good this is. That you could do some tests, you could get this into the PU. I'm not 100% certain if it's fully implemented on the IR output. It was on the old PTU because I remember I tried it in the M50. And then slowly fly away from one of your friends and then see at what point you can no longer detect them. And then try it with different ships to see how the IR output is. Something to do later on, but a little bit more investigation to make sure that the whole mechanic is actually in play. Really low, this thing. See them doors under there. Maneuver thruster there. It's got these big holes as well, but we'll talk about them in a minute when we get inside. Quite a simple ship really, isn't it? It's not overly complicated by any means. Does look more moderner, is that fair to say? It looks from a technology point of view. I actually like the smaller ships, hence the reason I've got the M50. I love that thing. Ridiculously hard to shoot it if someone's shooting you, as long as you're using all, yaw and everything. It's very difficult to shoot you. But at the same time, it's very difficult for you to take out a ship because the weapons are so tiny on the thing. It's like having an annoying wasp flying around your head. And I should imagine this is just like the daddy wasp, basically, the next one up. Think of it that way. So for me, it's quite appealing. I prefer the sort of nimble ships that you can jump in and get something quickly. And if this has got a low IR output, you could actually use this for just doing sort of missions, couldn't you? If you just want to get in and get out and not be detected. It is running through a damaged state, but this one's not as bad as the other ones. Okay, let's jump inside. We've got a few options on the door. Enter pilot seat, open ladder, open canopy. Do each one. The canopy does open forward. I'm not really sure why they chose to do that. Maybe they're just mixing it up a little bit. It is a bit weird when you're getting out an EVA, yeah? Because normally you get out an EVA and you sort of go forward. With this, you sort of got to go back and up. It's a little bit inconvenient, but not the end of the world, is it? And then we've got the little ladder as well that comes down. Everything's quite simple on this ship. It's well designed, but just very simple. Not over-animated. And then obviously the final one is enter the pilot seat. The big positive of this is clearly probably got one of the best views. I mean, this is better than pretty much most ships I've seen so far. And there's absolutely, look at that. It's like there's nothing there. This looks amazing, doesn't it? I mean, even reconnaissance in this thing is going to be fantastic. I mean, as far as your head can turn and look up, look. Brilliant. So from an observation point of view, and even a fighting point of view, I understand that there's obviously big ships out there with bigger guns that can probably blow this up, but element of surprise and skill will prevail. So looking at the screens there, we'll turn the power on in a second. That sort of greeny sort of colour is actually reflecting from, you can see, look, the actual green canopy. Obviously, when you're inside, you can't see the green. In the same way, on the other side of a mirrored glass, you obviously don't see the mirrored aspect of it. So that's just like the reflections. When you look down like this, you feel like everything is wrapped around you. These screens are built round the player, if that makes any sense. You look at them and you think, this is really cool, doesn't it? Power on. Not entirely sure why that went blue. I'm assuming there's some little lights come on there. For some reason these screens do work, but unfortunately they just don't work in the hangar. Even if I turn the... I've tried messing about with it earlier and I couldn't get them to come on. But you get the gist of it, eh? Good placement as well, because you've got this in quite a nice place here. You can see that this ship was actually designed with this in mind. And that goes quite a long way, because a lot of other ships, they were designed before the map and the displays. You know, it's an afterthought. So this one is fantastic on the viewing point of view, and the controls just look absolutely amazing. Got a few options here as well. You can unlock, open the exterior. Close the canopy. Okay, let's have a look on the outside then. Let's talk about the old... Let's look from the top. That actually sort of looks like a bat, doesn't it? Yeah, it looks very much like a bat. It's got these holes as well. I originally thought that that was something to do with the EMP, to be fair, but after looking at some of the more information on the ship, it's clearly not. I think it's got a normal power mount in the drop bays where the bomb would normally be for the EMP. Looks like a keyring chain, because it's almost like you can clip your keys through that and put it on your keyring. I'm sure someone's going to go make a keyring chain of this one. Do you see what I mean about them weapon cutouts? The big gaps. Oh look, it's not the end of the world, is it? By any means, but it's just a shame that they didn't complete that. And do something else there to make it look a little bit more aesthetically nice. But personal preference really, isn't it? Not overly keen with the blue. Probably go for another colour if I had one. Well, that's odd. Look, when you actually get in, the ladder's actually stayed out as well. Let's have a look around the back. Well-designed ship. I must admit, I wouldn't mind having one of these. I do prefer the lighter fighters, to be honest with you. I'm not going out there looking for a fight by any means, but I prefer the ones that are more manoeuvrable, rather than the ones that are a bit sort of heavy and slow. I'm by any means a good player anyway, so probably doesn't really matter. It's ones you just have the more fun in, I guess. Right, let's jump out. Oh cool, that's pretty cool, isn't it? I thought I'd give that a go, and I didn't think it was going to work. Didn't know you could actually do that, so learn something every day. I don't know why when I got in, the ladder went up. Unless I opened the hatch and the ladder went down. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Maybe it's a little bit of a bug there. So all in all, what do I think of this ship? I actually do really like it. I want to give it a fly. Like I said, I do prefer the ones that are more manoeuvrable. Will you better swap out the EMP later on? Who knows? It's in a module in there. I'll have to wait and see. So all in all, pretty cool ship. I'm looking forward to doing the flight test on this one. Hopefully it is really manoeuvrable. And maybe later on down the line, once IR is definitely confirmed as being in the P or PTU, I'll probably do a bit of an IR test to see actually how this fares out against a ship with small IR output. The big difference between clearly the M50 and this is the M50's engines are not really designed for low IR output. They're the same ones that they have on the 350R. Where this one has the shielding, doesn't it? It has the shielding around the back. So this is actually specifically, intentionally trying to reduce IR. So definitely looking forward to giving this a go and giving it a fly. Let me know what you think in the comments about the ship. And the last thing on the agenda today, guys, if you're looking to join a Star Citizen organisation or just come and play 3.0, check out the organisation link there. We're always playing Star Citizen. We're going to be playing this weekend actually as well, so if you want to come and join us. That's it from me. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye now.